Go. All right, so we're continuing in Romans 5. And I actually found this really great, something that I about the much more of Romans. Apparently, Romans 5 is actually called the much more chapter of the Bible because it says, how much more are we saved from the wrath of God by Jesus? How much more, because we've been reconciled, again, are we saved by his life? How much more than sin? How much more does grace come to us? And then how much more does the free gift of grace abound for many? And then it says, sin abounds, but how much more does grace abound? And then it goes on to say, how much more will those who receive the abundance of grace and the free gift of righteousness reign in life through Christ Jesus? So that's actually the verse we're going to sit in on today. That we could, is that verse is Romans 5:17, and it says this, and we'll move it. For if because of one man's trespass, death reigned. Think about everything we see in our world is a result of one man's trespass. How much more will those who receive the abundance of grace and the free gift of righteousness reign in life through Christ Jesus? So, Lord, would you open up our hearts to receive the much more today, that we would understand how to receive and reign. Lord, what a beautiful thing. Receive and reign. Teach us, Lord. Teach us, teach us, teach us. Thank you that we truly are your daughters, that you have crowned us with the royalty of heaven, and now we get to walk in fellowship with you into our world to bring the kingdom. Would you teach us, Lord? We love you. All right. Give me a little bounce. So this is like really good for your lymphatic system. Just kind of rinse things. Good morning, Bella. How are you? All right, side to side. Elbows back. Me too. All right, give me jacks. If you're not ready for full jacks, tap out. Touch your fingers at the top. Keep going. How much more will we reign in life? All right, wide legs, twist. Drop your shoulders out of your ears, you guys. I am totally learning fun new things. So Friday, punch. We'll try some new stuff. And we'll laugh all together. Sweep, sweep. So brace your core. Keep your shoulders round, not rounded, but nice and strong. All right, feet together, side to side. All right, now cross your body. Like you're shutting the door. Now reach up. So we're warming up in every plane of motion. All right, now cross body, elbow to knee. So if there's sin, through one man's sin, death reigned. How much more? Oh, how much more? Jacks. Five, 4, 3, 2, wide legs, twist. Punch. All right, wide legs, sweep low, reach up. So he doesn't have just a tiny little bit of victory for us. Stay here, cross. He actually designed us to reign in life. starting now, and then in eternity. Toes forward, reach out without locking your knees. Reach. All right, circle, circle, circle. So we're gonna do, it's called 3 S's. And I stole this format from Elisa. She's the founder of Rev. I love this. So what it looks like is we're going to do strength, then speed, then stability. So we have 3 moves. We'll do them 3 times. And so it's full body and training a whole lot of belly work. 50 on, 15 off. So grab your weights. First round is a sumo curl. So you're going to take your legs wide, toes are out. Now, as you drop low, never let your knees go in. Knees, press those knees out so you can see your big toe. Drop low. The key to a good sumo is you're going to press up through your heels like you're going to squeeze a quarter between your cheeks. And then as you come up, curl. So we're not counting, praise the Lord. We're just doing for time. So 50 seconds, toes wide, here we go. So he said, if death reigned because of one man's sin, how much more, how much more, it says, will those who receive the abundance of grace and the gift of righteousness reign in life through Christ Jesus. Okay, that's just, I feel like you could spend probably most of our lives in that verse. So, it says, how much more those who receive. So let's talk about receiving. How are you at receiving? Would you rather not rest? All right, looks like this. 1, 2, squat. 1, 2. Here we go. 2 jacks and a squat. Remember, for those jacks, meet your fingers at the top. So this one is our speed. So, how are you at receiving? Do you come with a posture, I have to work for him. I gotta try harder. And he says, darling, when you begin with receiving, rest. All right. Stability. Anchor that right foot, arms wide. Lift, opposite foot, hand to the floor, and then switch. So hips are square. So as you lift, keep your spine long, core braced. So it's a very personal receiving that he says, it's for you, darling. Will you receive? Oh, I'm so wobbly. So the word in the Greek is lambano, and it means to take, to lay hold of, to carry, to claim for oneself. And then it says, that which is taken and not let go, rest. Grab your weight. Back to the top, sumo curls. All right, here we go. So we get to receive, take hold of, and never let go. Oh! Come on. As you curl, Lord, I receive. Lord, I'm not good at receiving. Lord, I'm afraid to receive. Lord, I receive. I receive. You said, how much more will those who receive reign in life? So, Lord, I receive. Do you have a hard time letting people serve you? Do you have a hard time receiving from the Lord or a spouse or anyone? Maybe not. Rest. But these are the things we ask when we read the word. We let it read us. Oh, am I a receiver? Yes, heck yes, we want to be givers. All right, go. 2 jacks in a squat. But we must receive first. We can't give what we don't have. What keeps us from receiving? Are you afraid to owe someone? All right, rest. Woo! So it's doing the work, strength, speed, getting the heart rate up. Now, stability. Go. So it's a personal receiving. How much more will those who receive? See yourself reaching and taking. Means to claim for oneself. Draw your shoulders behind your heart. He's so generous, you guys. He's better. He's kinder. And he wants you to receive today. He has something specifically for each one of us today. So, Lord, I receive. Tell him. Lord, I receive. Rest. All right, 3rd time. So, back to the top. Sumo curl. All right, shoulders down and back. So, I also learned this from Elisa. It's 3 rounds is really great because the first round, you're learning. Second round, you're like, okay, I got this. 3rd round, you're like, okay, I'm tired. Now I'm really engaging to work. Oh my gosh, you guys look beautiful. So those, how much more those who receive the abundance of grace. Come on. He's not stingy. He's a generous, generous God. All right, rest. Jacks and squats. All right. Last time you have to do this. I'm sorry, last time we get to do this. That's right. I did choose my fire playlist though. I play. Yes, you can. I receive the abundance of grace. Come on. Father, I receive the abundance of grace from Christ. Oh, I'm tired of this. Oh. 3, 2, 1, rest. All right. Last stability set. Woo. All right, deep breath. Here we go. So take, lay hold of, carry, own, claim for yourself. Come on. Claim for yourself his abundance of grace. He loves me. We claim that. He is for me. I receive that. The promises of God are for me. I receive them. Come on. When you read the word, make it personal. Chew on it. Eat it. Let it nourish you. 5 seconds. Woo! All right. Rest. Well done. Now try one. Yay. All right. Woo! It's hot today, y'all. All right, here's another translation. It says, death once held us in its grip, and by the blunder of one man, death reigned as king over humanity. But now, how much more are we held in the grip of grace and reign as kings in life, enjoying our regal freedom through the gift of perfect righteousness in the one Messiah, Jesus Christ. Oh, you can never gain by working what you are intended to receive. Never. You can never gain by effort what he's given at the cross. As someone that the Lord has redeemed from striving, performance, and people-pleasing, and know this to be true. Well, let's be clear. I'm learning. Still learning. All right, let me show you our next 3 moves. Looks like this. So you're going to curtsy. So as you drop low, bring your chest towards your knee, row, and press up. Now, the key is you've got to draw those shoulders down and back and then brace your core. So as you're pulling up and pressing down, it's like I have my fingers between your shoulder blades. So you're keeping that engagement so that we don't end up here or here. But it's that really strong lift the girls' core is braced. Speed move. Jump rope. Jump rope. Your jump rope. You can double under. I can't double under. But you can if you want. Then this one. This one is really fun and really hard. Okay, we're going to go 25 and 25. You're going to open like this and then come, reach up. So come wide and then reach up, okay? It's totally challenging. We will fall over, and that's all right.
Try our best.
We'll try our best, and it'll be enough. All right, here we go. Curtsy, row. Keep your hips square. Again, shoulders down and back. So how much more will those who receive the abundance of grace? Okay, so I've never studied these words before. That word abundance, it's such a cool word. It means superabundance, an exceeding measure, above the ordinary and overflowing. Isn't that fun? Yay. So he says this is the kind of grace I want to give you. Overflowing, super abundant, excessive. Come on, he wants to give us excessive grace. Excessive grace. Stop. I said I just got signed out. Interesting. Somebody must be in my Zoom in another place. All right. Jump rope. All right. Now, let's talk form. Shoulders down out of your ears. Brace your core. You can do knees up. You can do a single jump. Make it your own. Now, Lord, I receive the abundance of grace that you have for me. I receive. In fact, open your hands. Lord, I receive the abundance, overflowing, super abundant measure of grace that you have for me. I receive. I receive. It's by faith, not effort. Rest. All right, you guys ready for the crazy airplane? All right, so strong core. Reach down through one foot. Open up. and then bring it up. If you want to add a knee up, you can. Take your time, you're going to wobble. I'll tell you when to switch sides. Woo! Maybe when we get really good at this, we'll add a weight. But not today. Overflowing. I want you to think about standing under a waterfall. Excessive, above the ordinary, switch sides. I'm so much more wobbly on this side, it's not even funny. I can't even get here. Oh, it's so funny. So Lord, would you reveal your abundance of grace, Lord? All right, rest. We get to go back to the top, to the curtsy with that row. Now, for that balance, remember, we're going to start on the same leg we ended on last time. All right. So those who take hold of, who personally receive and accept, and then don't let go, the overflowing, superabundant, excessive measure of grace. This is what grace means. It's the Greek word charis, and it means that which brings joy, pleasure, delight, sweetness, charm, loveliness, the goodwill and favor of God, and God's merciful kindness by which he saves us through Christ and then influences us to grow in salvation. Rest. Okay. My brain is like blown away at all of that, so let's talk about it. All right, start with the leg you ended with. All right, here we go.
We're going to do speed.
Oh, we do have to do speed. Darn it. I was all ready to skip speed. Thank you. Good job. Keeping me honest. All right, so go ahead and back because it's different. Trick your brain. It loves to do new things. Well, maybe not, but we love to make them do new things. All right. Again, I receive your abundance of grace, Lord. See yourself receiving grace. Loveliness, joy, pleasure, charm, light, His favor and goodwill. I receive it, Lord. Rest. All right, now we'll stabilize ourselves. So shoulders down and back, deep breath in. All right, here we go. So open and bring across. His merciful kindness. In Ephesians, Paul tells us that he has an abundance of kindness and grace that he wants to pour on us through Christ for all eternity. Switch sides. I was just going to say I'm so much more balanced on this side, and then I fell over. Oh. All right, rest. Hey, guess what? We get to do it one more time. Curtsy with that row. Shoulders down and back, core strong. Here we go. His merciful kindness extended to us through Christ. This is why Jesus is the only way, the only truth, and the only life. It's the grace, it's the pleasure and joy He's designed for you to receive. Oh, you guys, He really is good, and He really is kind. And we let His word redefine Him for us, because our world is not kind. All right, speed. All right, a little different this time. I want you to jump rope side to side. Lateral motion. You can pony if you'd rather. Last time. Receive and reign. And as I've been thinking about this verse, I think, I wonder if all the places where I don't reign, which means to walk in victory, to exercise authority, is because I haven't received. You know? I think I try to get to that order. You got 5, 4, 3, 2. Woo! I'm glad that was over. I mean, no, I am actually. All right, airplane twist. Here we go. So feel your core working as you move through this motion. Woo! Woo! All right, switch sides. It's so good to do awkward things. Oh, thank you, Lord, for awkward movement. All right, rest. Woo. Great job, that's round 2. Solamente uno más. One more. So we receive the abundance of grace. I love that picture of overflowing superabundance. And the 2 things in the New Testament, this word is only used 4 times in the New Testament, and 2 of them are very specific: superabundant grace and superabundant joy. And this is also, it's not the same word as John 10:10, where Jesus came to give us life to the fullest, but it's the same idea of supernatural abundant life. Here's the thing. He wants it to start now. Gosh, it's not just for later, it's for now. So, we begin here, and then we complete it on the other side. And everything is perfect. All right, let me show you our 3 moves. So, I'm still doing my 60 push-ups today, so you're welcome. We're going to do push-ups. I didn't do any yesterday, so I have to make up. That's not true, I did 10. Now I've already made up 20 more, and I still have 30 from yesterday, which is okay. I actually genuinely like it. So we're going to do a push-up down dog. It looks like this. So you're going to push up, press back. And if you want to try full, that's fantastic too. And then down dog. So you're going to flow through that. Then you can use your weight or not. You might want to use your strap. And then we're going to hop, for our speed, we're going to hop over. I want you to have something to jump over, just nothing that will hurt you. So if you don't think you'll make it over your weight, use a strap, no shame. And then the last one is we're going to hold side plank. So you can be here, you can be here, you can be here, or here. There's so many great options for side plank. Okay, and then we'll turn to the other side halfway through. Okay? All right. So, as you move, this is our meditation. Lord, I receive the abundance of grace that you have for me and the gift of righteousness. The gift. All right, how is gifts on your love language list?
Yeah, love.
See? So that means me too. There probably is something there that the Lord wants to get after of like, the darling, I have gifts for you. He is the giver of good gifts. James 1:17. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. All right, here we go. Push up, down dog. On your mark, get set, go. Why are we doing a down dog in between? It's all core.
So as you pull yourself forward to plank and then push up, core holds you back to down dog. It also gives your shoulders a rest. Take a child's pose if you need, instead of a down dog. Chin out of your chest. We tend to want to bury our chins. Keep it out. You've got 15 seconds. How much more will those who receive the abundance of grace and the free gift of righteousness rest? Breathe on up. Grab whatever you want to jump over. Here we go. All right, so lengthen your spine. Core is strong. So the gift. I looked it up in Greek, it means gift. That's all. It just means gift. Oh, I'm like, oh, sometimes things are really as simple as they say. It just thinks I made my stairs goal. Well, technically. All right. Rest. All right. Side plank. I'm in a forearm plank because that's what my shoulders prefer. Now again, take your top leg forward. You want a little assistance. Drop to your knee if you need to. If you want more, lift that top leg. Woo! Come on. Lift the corners of your mouth. Draw your head back. Switch sides. So like you're going to press your head into a head rest. Draw your head back. So it's not a big motion, but it lengthens your spine and keeps you in proper alignment. Woo! I can't see our timer this way. All right, you've got 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Rest. Back to push-ups.
Thank goodness we're changing sides on that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Push up, down dog. Good job. Come on. You are the recipient of abundant grace and the gift of righteousness. All right, rest. Bring it up. Oh, thank you, Jesus. All right, you got that lateral hop. Here we go. It's good to do things you don't like. Oh! I encourage you to go read Romans 5 today. Each one of the how much mores. All right, rest. Side plank. Go. Lift your hip. Draw your head back. Lord, I receive the abundance of grace and the free gift of righteousness. Come on. Receive. Switch sides. Lift that top hip. The gift of righteousness. The rightness. Be made right with God. Rest. All right. One more round and then we get to stretch, you guys. Praise his holy name. Push up, down dog. Here we go. Second Corinthians 5:21 says that God made him who knew no sin, Jesus, the spotless lamb, that he became sin, so that we might become the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus. So it's a shift of being. We went from being sinful to being the righteousness of God in Christ. Oh, it's good news, friends. Rest. Oh, I washed my hair yesterday. I regret it. Should have stayed waited till today. All right. Oh, we're supposed to be going. Go. No, I didn't wash it
2 days in a row, right?
Oh, never. I would hate that. No,
Get dry, you do it.
yes, exactly. That's what hats are for. All right, draw your shoulders back and down. Lift your chin. Oh. Come on, you got 6, 5, 3, 2, and 1. Side plank, last move. Yes, exactly. All right. Here we go. Wherever you are, your shoulder is directly beneath, above your wrist or your elbow. Good. Core is strong. Lift your hip 1/2 inch higher. Now switch sides. Thank you, Lord, for these good bodies, for strengthening us on the inside. 5, lift your hips. 4, 3, lift those hips. 2, and 1. All right, drop down. Child's pose. Child's pose. Tuck your toes. Press your hips back. Stretch our feet just a bit. Put your hands as far forward as you can. Now sit up, keeping your toes tucked under. Sit back. Take your arms up, drop your shoulders out of your ears. Come to cactus arms. Now, if this starts to hurt your feet, release them. But if this is a really good stretch for the arches of your feet, you have toe cramps and things like that, this stretch can help. Now palms up. Close your eyes. Lord, I receive. Between you and him. Inhale, reach your hands up, stand up on your knees. And exhale, press those hands down. All right, go ahead and take your shoes off. Sit onto your bum. Bring your legs forward. Maybe your experience has been that when you receive something from someone, then you owe them. Talk to him about that. All right. Shift your flesh away from your butt bones. Sit up tall. Roll your shoulders. Flex your feet. Now go forward. Make it a little bigger. Oh, you guys, we have a good 15 minutes to stretch. How fabulous is that? Inhale, reach up. Exhale, now reach, rounding your back towards your toes. So, Lord, I feel like everyone I've received something from, then I owe them. How do I break through that lie to the fact that I do owe you everything and that you freely give? Would you teach us, Lord? Now, tuck your chin up into your chest and really pay attention to each vertebrae. Roll up one at a time. Sit up tall, lift your face, shoulders down and back. Now bend your left knee. You can leave it there or you can cross it over. Sit up tall, draw those shoulders again down and back. Lift your face, wrap your right arm around your left knee. Now lengthen your spine as you take a deep breath in. And then on your exhale, twist. For the sin of this one man, Adam, caused death to rule over many, but even greater is God's wonderful grace and his gift of righteousness for all who receive will live in triumph over sin and death through the one man, Jesus Christ. Release it to center. Now, make a 4. I almost said letter. Make a number 4 with your legs. Now gently press on that left knee as you reach towards your right foot. You may not actually grab it. Maybe you grab your ankle or your shin. Lengthen your spine. No rounding quite yet. Just sit up tall. So pull your right hip back just a smidge. And breathe. So this word righteousness is the state of one who is as she ought to be, acceptable to God, with integrity, virtue, purity of life, and justified. Oh, now round and reach both hands forward. Roll it up. All right, inhale, reach up. Exhale, point your toes and reach forward. Maybe you sway a little bit side to side. And then roll it up. All right, bend that left knee. Again, inside or out, it's entirely up to you. Shoulders down and back, sit up tall. Wrap your left arm as you take a deep breath in. And then exhale, twist. Receive and then reign through Christ Jesus. He is the King of all kings, and he wants to teach us to rule. Come on, what does it look like to rule in our lives? To rule over sin, to rule over even our emotions. Like, Lord, teach us. Would you teach us to receive and reign? Gently release to center. Sit up tall. Make that number 4. Press that right knee. Flex your left foot and reach forward. So it's rightness of character before God and rightness of action before people. So beautiful. Lord, thank you for your word. Lord, we receive the super abundant, overflowing, excessive measure of your grace today. And the gift of righteousness that Jesus gave us himself. Thank you, Lord. Now reach both hands forward. Gently sit on up. Go and roll onto your back. Make sure you have a strap. Pull your knees in to your chest. Gently rock side to side. Take your arms wide, palms up, and let this song become your prayer. Send your legs straight up. Now flex your feet and point. Now circle. Go the other way. All right, hug your right knee into your chest. Let your left leg just rest on the floor. Feel the stretch in your hip flexor. Begin to relax your face, your shoulders. Grab your strap. Lasso the ball of that right foot. Now you can always bend your left knee if needed. Otherwise, leave it there. Flexing your right foot. Draw your leg as straight as you can without locking out your knee. Deepen your breath. On your inhale, pray, I receive. And on your exhale, the abundance of grace. I receive the abundance of grace. Now, reflexing your foot, move side to side. So your hips are anchored. We did a lot of lateral motion today. We're going to stretch a bit laterally. I receive your abundance of grace. Come back to center, now make circles. Start small, keeping your hips anchored. And as your hips continue to open up, you can make them bigger if you want. Now go the other way. Come back to center. Draw your right shoulder down. Really anchor it. Flex your foot and open out. Return to that prayer. Inhaling, I receive. And exhaling your abundance of grace. Gently bring that leg up. Now switch hands. Now your right arm comes out as an anchor. Flex your right foot. Anchor your shoulders and your hips and cross your body. Or because of the one man's sin, death reigned through that one man, much more will those who receive the abundance of grace and the free gift of righteousness reign in life
through Jesus Christ. Gently bring it back up to center. Release your strap. Pull that knee back to the center of your chest. Tuck your forehead up towards your knee. And switch. Draw that left leg in. Let your right knee relax. Settle in. Let your face, your shoulders. Grab your strap. Lasso that left ball of your foot. Strap is in your left hand. Now again, as straight as you can get your leg without locking it out. Now breathe. Now gentle lateral motion, keeping your hips anchored. Come back to center. Now, circles on the ceiling. You are the one you love. Breathing or singing or both. Flex your foot a bit more. Now go the other way. Come back to center. Anchor that right hip. Flex your left foot again and open out. I receive your abundance of grace. Gently bring that leg up. Switch hands. Drop your right shoulder down towards the floor. Flex that left foot. Now, gently cross. Gently bring it back to center. Release your strap. Hug your knee into the center of your chest. Draw your forehead up. Now both knees in, forehead to those knees. Now relax your head, bring your knees wide, heels up, happy baby. If you want, sway it side to side or simply hold, pulling your knees towards your shoulders. Your heart, just go to Him in worship and adoration. Thank you, Lord, that your love never fails.
given us super abundant, excessive amount of grace in Christ. We receive it, Lord. We receive it. Now bring your knees back to the center of your chest. Take your arms wide, palms down. Inhale. Exhale, knees to the left, look to the right. Gently draw those knees back to center. Now palms up, deep inhale. Exhale, knees to the right, look to the left. Gently come back to center, full body stretch, get long. And exhale, relax. Again, from your fingers to your toes, full body stretch. And exhale, relax. Alright, gently work your way up. We're going to come up to the mirror and finish with legs up the wall. Alright, so plant one hip against the wall. And gently lay back and bring your legs up. So butt against the wall. And relax. So start with your face, forehead and your jaw. Take your tongue. We're going to do tongue stretches. Press your tongue into your left cheek. Now switch to the right. Now tuck your tongue behind your teeth. And round it. Press it forward as you're tucking it back behind your teeth. Now open your mouth really wide. Let your tongue come out. And now relax your face. Your shoulders. Let your ribs relax, your core. Let everything hang out. Last song. Keep your legs up. Take them to the side, or if they start to get big, it's too much, just lay on your side. Posture is that of receiving. You said that it was for me. I'm sleeping, you listen. I feast on your goodness and mercy forever, my portion. My portion. Oh, our hope, the only sure foundation. Our one defense. Oh, you cannot be shaken. We trust in you in every situation. 'Cause our God, you will never.
Therefore, just as sin came into the world through one man, and death through sin, so death spread to all, because all sinned. But the free gift is not like the trespass. For if many died through one man's trespass, much more have the grace of God and the free gift by the grace of that one man, Jesus Christ, abounded for many. And the free gift is not like the result of that one man's sin, for the judgment following one trespass brought condemnation, but the free gift following many trespasses brought justification. For because of one man's trespass, death reigned through the one man, how much more will those who receive the abundance of grace and the free gift of righteousness reign in life through one man, Jesus Christ? Go ahead and turn onto your side. Deep breath in. Full exhale through your nose. Again, in through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Lord, we thank you that even though death reigned through the one man, how much more will we reign as we receive your abundance of grace and the free gift of righteousness. Lord, I pray we would become amazing receivers. Lord, that we would take hold of what you offer. We would lay down control and striving. Receive your excessive, overflowing, super abundant grace and righteousness, Lord. Teach us, Lord, to receive that we might reign. From the receiving, Lord, would you flow out of us? We extenders of grace, Lord. We want to live like that, Lord, to extend that abundant grace. To teach us, Lord. Giving good bodies, get to offer you in worship, Lord. Thank you. In this time, we love you back. We thank you. In Jesus' precious name we pray. Amen. Amen. Definitely gonna need a muscle hook today. Oh, praise Jesus.
You're so good.